a time I was in the airport and a gal came up to me and she goes, this is going to sound really crazy, but you don't know me, but I know you so well. I'm one of the editors on the show. And she goes, I'm really sorry about how we had to frame you. And it hurt my heart to see all of your clips just on the floor.
Everybody go. 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 What's going on, y'all? This is Oliver Twixt, your nerd boy cutie, reporting for duty, here to do the Lord's work once again. And I'm here today with a special exclusive behind the scenes video. Now, you guys have seen me on the internet in my vlogs, my interviews, and even reality TV, but a lot of times you guys don't see me at work when I am content creating. I specialize in social media and YouTube videos, which means people hit me up for promos, commercials, special marketing videos, green screens with special effects and crap, vlogs, documentaries, trailers, presentational reels. Today, I'm taking you guys behind the scenes of me working with Spice, the dance hall queen, as she releases her debut album 10 while being filmed for Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 10. Here we go! Hi guys, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? What's going on? Hold on, I'm just gonna make sure this locks and it doesn't move. One more thing. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Guys, I went out last night and thank you. I thought I lost my wallet. Just to come to find out, I didn't. But I had already canceled everything. And so it's just been a whirlwind morning trying to go get things so I can still be able to live my life this weekend. Because, you know, banks and everything closes early on Saturdays and they're closed on Sundays. So, anyways, what's going on, y'all? This is Oliver Twixt here, your nerd boy cutie. Wait. Oliver Twixt, your nerd boy cutie, reporting for duty, here to do the Lord's work once again. And today, we have an exciting interview. I believe it's going to be I didn't honestly think I was going to find her. I didn't. I did not think I was honestly going to find her. You know, a lot of times, I feel like we all gravitate towards like, you know, the Jades and the Camille's and people like that. But it's the people like Nicole and Brooke. Those are the people I really want to be talking to. Those are people I want to know what went on, what are their thoughts, what happened. What do they have to say? Guys, we are talking to Nicole from Cycle 3 of America's Next Top Model. I am so excited for this. She said verbatim, I am excited to set the record straight. I said, yes, let's do it. So, without further ado, let's get her in here. I'm very excited. Hi!
Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you perfect.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being so patient with me this morning. I'm so sorry. I try to be on time, but thank you for understanding and working with me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
You look beautiful this morning.
Well, thank you. I did my makeup for you.
You did a great job.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Where are you in the world?
Well, my hometown is in North Dakota, and so I've kind of been here for a little bit with family and stuff. So North Dakota.
Nice. I've never been to North Dakota. Never.
I can see why.
You know, I do one day want to embark on a tour of the United States. There's so much culture and so many hidden treasures and beauties that you just never know until you get out there. The United States is so diverse.
That's true. Very true. And seeing the world is always fun. So.
Yes. How are you doing this morning? How are you feeling? We're about to go back down memory lane. What you think?
I know. It's crazy. It's 17 years ago. I can't even believe that.
Has it really been 17 years for you?
Yes, sir.
Dang. And so like, have you heard about these chats I've done with you girls? Or was it when I jumped to your inbox your first time you heard of me?
Yep, I hate to admit that was the first I had heard, but I was really excited to see it nonetheless. So
Yay. No, girl,
yeah.
You're fine. I've spoken to specifically girls from Cycle 3. I've spoken to Kelly. I've spoken to Amanda. I've spoken to Anne, and I've spoken to Norel. So you are the 5th person from Cycle 3, which I'm so excited about this. Extremely excited about this.
Me too. Thanks for giving me the chance.
Oh, girl, of course. You guys are royalty to us. So we are honored for y'all to be here, taking time out of y'all's schedule to come talk to us about something that happened 17 years ago. We are happy y'all are here. So I want to know, Nicole, to start it off, how did you get involved with Top Model? What made you audition? What's that like for you? What was that story?
Well, the backstory, I had been doing some kind of runway modeling in Minneapolis when I was like 15, and I had worked with Katie from season 2. And then like I moved to Seattle, kind of gave up on modeling because I wasn't really getting, like, I don't know. It's hard when you're young to be told you're not thin enough and not know how to lose weight, and so I just kind of got, I don't know, I guess upset with the industry in itself. And so I moved to Seattle, didn't think I was going to be part of it anymore. And then I'm in my living room watching, UPN or whatever channel it was on at the time. And Katie pops up on my screen, and I was like, I used to do runway shows with her. Why is she crying? She's crying always. And so it gave me the idea, if she's up there, she can do this, so can I. So I popped on the website, kind of saw when they were going to have auditions. Luckily for me, they were having one in Tukwila, I believe, Tukwila or Tacoma. And that was only about like a 30-minute drive from where I was living at the time. So I took the day off work, made my way down there, stood in line forever, had the chance to kind of speak to the producers, and they were taking videos and just kind of seeing our walks. And that was like the very, very beginning. But then they were going to do, some second calls and castings. And then they flew us to Los Angeles. So that was when you guys kind of first saw me.
So let's pause on the fact that you were friends with Katie. Crying Katie from Cycle 2. So
yep.
Did you guys have any conversation about like, hey, Katie, I saw you on Top Model. I'm about to be on Top Model. How was it? Like anything like that?
No, not really. This was like 2003, 2004. So like Instagram and stuff like that wasn't really popping off yet. I don't even think I had a cell phone at the time. If you can believe that. Like, right. So no, there wasn't really, I had kind of lost touch with her, because I had been modeling when I was like 15. And so I hadn't seen her for 6 years or whatever, but recognized her right away.
Gotcha. Okay, so she was like a friend you knew formally, but wasn't in close. So I mean, you said it was 6 years separation from the time you last saw her to we saw her on TV. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, that's enough time for someone to change. But I'm curious to know, how was she when you knew who she was?
She was really sweet. We only worked a little bit together. We had the same agency out of Minneapolis. But yeah, I mean, she was tall and leggy, and I was so jealous of her height and her everything. Like, she was gorgeous. So I really thought that she could have, definitely been more successful had she been a little bit more resilient to what she was having to go through. So it's kind of sad to watch her be so upset all the time. And I mean, she cried when they cut her hair. I mean, that's something that when you're in the modeling industry, they're going to change you in 1,000 ways. So you can't really be crying. I mean, I don't blame her for it, but, maybe if it didn't feel right, then she might have, not been happy with it. So it is what it is, but
it's what it is.
Gorgeous gal, tall, had, all the potential in the world. So
yeah,
I hope she's doing well.
The people say Amanda is in the building. What's going on, Amanda? So back to you, cycle 3, you get flown out to LA. I want to know, what was the onboarding process like for you? And I'm talking in terms of like the psychological exams, the screenings. What do you remember about that?
Yeah, they wanted to make sure that we were mentally resilient enough, physically capable of handling such, I mean, it's a strenuous process. You have to basically not sleep, work on, very limited, relaxing moments in time, and just kind of, you're always supposed to be ready for the camera. So that was kind of one of the things that hurt me. Like, I would fall asleep like while we were waiting for filming to kind of finish up, and then I'd wake up and just be all like, sleepy faced, and they're like, you can't fall asleep. Well, I'm tired, I don't know. But I can see why they, want us to be physically capable of it, because otherwise, I mean, you're gonna either go crazy or like, I don't know, just get really sick, and they don't really want to be liable for that.
Right. Did they treat you guys well, the producers?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I had so much fun with the crew. So the stuff that you guys didn't get to see, unfortunately, was pretty awesome. I mean, everybody that they had around us was really just like respectful and professional. So it definitely made for a better environment considering the high pressure cooker we were in. So yeah, I mean, a lot of the camera people and the sound people were really fun. And I mean, we didn't get to talk to them a lot because we weren't really supposed to talk when the cameras weren't on us. Like, we had to shut up. So yeah, I mean, there wasn't a lot of opportunity, but the opportunity we did have was amazing. Like, they did surround us with an amazing team.
Dope. And so besides not sleeping a lot, which that's pretty normal when you film reality TV, you don't sleep a lot. They were feeding you. You were like, you were being able to go to the bathroom. The only reason why I ask is because a lot of we've heard different stories from different girls saying, they don't feed us. We couldn't relieve ourselves. We had to do all this. But you're saying that you actually had a good time. They treated you well.
Well, I mean, there were times we were like stuck in a car or something waiting to go to the location where you couldn't go to the bathroom because there was no bathroom around. I mean, they weren't going out of their way to inconvenience us in any way. So I mean, just sometimes, like, you got to think about it. Go to the bathroom before you get in the car and take your, I mean, it was always kind of a hurry up and wait. So we knew that we'd have to get there really fast, but then when we got there was always downtime, waiting for the cameras to get, filming them or whatever the set had to finish setting up. So, I mean, you got to take care of those things before you get in the car and go.
Gotcha. I love this perspective. I love it. I absolutely love it. You get to LA, Los Angeles to film Cycle 3 of Top Model. What are some of the first things you remember seeing as you're filming day one?
Well, we had a hotel, the Le Méridien was in view of the Hollywood sign. So, I mean, that right there, my little North Dakota heart was just stunned that I'm standing there looking at, the icon of, the industry there. And it was just surreal. Like, I had never really had, exquisitely gourmet meals before, and they were feeding us, 5-star, it was amazing, honestly. And I was a little intimidated, just looking around. There's 40 gorgeous women standing in front of you, and you're like, oh, what did I just do? But I don't know, it's fun. And if you're not, feeling a little nervous or like taking risks in life, then it's just kind of boring. So what are you, I loved it. Like, it was surreal and a blast, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Were you there during that bar fight that happened on cycle 3 with Tiffany and I think just like a patron that was in the bar. Were you there for that?
Unfortunately, no. They sent us to 3 different bars. So because
Gotcha.
we were such a big group, there were 3 different locations on that one. So no, I wasn't there for that.
What else do you remember from casting week?
Oh, just a lot of like nervousness and prep work. I feel like I was always in my bathroom, like trying to like moisturize or, like do something getting ready for it. I'm really pale. So I had a can of like tinted spray leg makeup. And I remember like ruining towels in the bathroom. I would stand over it and like spray my my tan on. And I felt really bad for the maids, but just it was fun. It didn't seem really intense yet. Maybe the reality hadn't set in, or I was just kind of like la-di-da and, didn't let the pressure get in there. And maybe that's what they were looking for. And that's how I got through it. Like I didn't seem like I was cracking while I was auditioning. So
Right. Yes. How was it like seeing Tyra for the first time?
like a painting walked out in front of you. You're just like, is she a hologram? Like, I think I remember someone saying that. Yeah, like just gorgeous, flawless. She shook my hand and apologized for her hands being rough, and they were like baby soft. I don't know what she was talking about. So, I mean, she is just as beautiful as she seems.
Yes. Okay. I'm loving this right now. I'm loving that. It's so far. You're having a good time filming Top Model right now. So far, I'm loving this. So we're going to go to something fun that the people out there love for you guys to do, which is ANTM roll call. Basically, I name everyone who was cast on your cycle, contestants, judges, and on-screen talent, and you tell me the first thing that comes to your brain. It can be good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. You just got to tell us the first thing that comes to your brain. Are you ready?
Sure, yeah.
All right. So the first person on the list was the first girl who was eliminated, which is Magdalena.
I didn't really get to engage with her a lot because she was the first to go, but I remember I had a nickname for her, Mama Magdalena. She was a nurturer. She was really sweet, and she wanted to, be friendly with everyone. She wasn't drama. She wasn't catty or rude, and, just a stand-up gal. Got cut right away. I wasn't sad that I was losing competition, but, as a person, she's a great person.
How was it traveling to Jamaica?
That was the first time I left the United States. So, like, completely crazy for me. I had just gotten a passport. They told us we needed a passport for, for being on the show just in case. But I had no expectation to go right away. So that, like, blew my mind. I knew I was kind of bigger than the other girls that were there at the time. So swimsuits right away, I was nervous. I didn't want to be the first eliminated because I wasn't as thin and, toned as the rest of the competitors there, but it worked out.
Yes. Oh, what was the pressure like doing that first photo shoot? Because they did tell you guys that someone was going to get eliminated there by Mr. and Miss J before you guys went back. What was that like?
It was really high. I feel like because we hadn't, experienced any of the photo shoots or anything before, like we weren't ready. We weren't ready for a photo shoot that night. We were thinking we would get to the house and then like settle in. Maybe like previous seasons they had like waxed the girls and, done stuff to them before they just like did their first shoot, but that didn't happen. So I was nervous that, I just wasn't ready. Like I hadn't shaved properly or whatever. Like all those little insecurities start coming out and you just get really tense and you just kind of roll with it. I mean, that's what you got to do is embrace what's happening and just participate as best you can. So it was such a blast though. Like falling on those rocks and feeling like I was going to fall into the ocean or something was still fun.
Oh, the next person on the list is Leah.
Leah, I don't feel like I really like interacted with her very much either. She was part of like the pink positive team, like room. And so she wasn't in my room at all. And then she went right away. So yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about her either. Super nice gal. Again, she wasn't ever rude to me or anything like that. So yeah, I don't have a lot of insight on her though. But I
Now
hope
I'm
she's
drawn.
doing well too.
No, I'm
Sorry?
sorry. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I just said I hope she's, doing well too. I haven't really followed up with anyone after the show, but she was gorgeous.
I'm drawing a blank because I cannot remember what was photo shoot number 2.
The one that Leah left on. Okay, so we did Jamaica and then we did, was it the Nivea? Or was that 3? The beauty shot?
Okay, see that, and that's why I'm struggling because I know the next 2 were you guys' photo, like beauty photos where it was retouched, and like they showed you guys the untouched version, the retouched version, and then okay, I think that was number 2 because number 3 was makeovers when you guys were all, which is one of my favorite photo shoots Top Model has ever done. I think everybody's photo is so gorgeous. I mean, besides Kelly, but we'll get to that. But seeing all you guys just laying down topless with jeans and you guys' hair doing all that craziness, I love that. So yes, it was the up close untouched photos. Yes, how was that for you?
That was a lot of fun. The hair and makeup team, Danilo and Matthew, just were such a dream to work with. And I had the short hair, but they all wanted us to have the long hair. So Danilo gave me this long extension. He actually had his own brand of hair, like falls and clip-ins.
Nicole, I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but the children, they're helping me out. Right, Oliver, because it was 1 episode, but 2 eliminations. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
That's right. That's why we can't remember.
Gotcha. I'm putting. That's why it didn't make sense to me because usually I assign the photo shoot to the girl eliminated, and I was like, wait, okay. Anyways, yeah, Leah.
Makes sense. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, and she was looking at the camera.
Right, Julie. What are your thoughts on Julie?
Well, Julie actually lived in the Seattle area too, so we met on the plane flying to Los Angeles. So I instantly was like, whoa, she's gonna win. Look at this girl. And I mean, yeah, she had every skill set that I think a top model needs. But then I don't know why she said what she said, because I know she wanted to be a model, and she never mentioned to me that fashion merchandising was the end all be all. And we were in the same room, we talked quite a bit, and so that was surprising. But again, as a competitor, I was relieved because she was tough competition.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought she was so beautiful. She was probably the one that I was the most taken with. Again, all these girls are just gorgeous, but something special about Julie.
I wonder if, and I can't remember who I spoke to, they kind of mentioned this. I wonder if she said that because she was nervous and she wanted to impress them, to kind of sound like, more business savvy, this, yeah. I wonder. I've tried to find her. Hopefully I will so I can ask her. But how was that beauty photo shoot for you guys? The close-up, unretouched photos. That was the second photo shoot for you guys, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was. Yep. Yeah. How was that for you?
I had fun doing it. It was I like photo shoots that are a lot of makeup and stuff. So the season ended up being really fun later on. But beauty shoots you have to be on point. You can't there's nothing kind of distracting. So they are a little bit more focused and technical, even though they seem simpler. And especially when you take makeup off, I think that makes everybody a little more nervous. Oh, please give me my concealer.
There's 2 things I want to talk about right fast, and I would love to hear your take on this, Nicole. Folks out there watching, does anyone remember what Julie's ethnicity was, what her ethnic makeup was? I'm curious. Drop down in the chat and tell me. Do you remember, Nicole, what her ethnic makeup was?
I believe that they're Indian.
Indian, okay.
Yeah, she would do her mom's voice. She would always mimic her mother, and her mother had that very heavy Indian accent. And she was really cute when she would do it. It was hilarious.
Gosh, she was Indian. You know what? There's a thing, and I don't want to cause no drama with this, but we should really look into the treatment of Indian/Asian people on Top Model. And once we do that, we should look into the treatment of Asian people in reality TV on a full spectrum, because I really don't like it. I really don't like
Honestly,
it.
I was thinking that just the other day, like, why didn't I have an Asian competitor? You know, there's so many gorgeous women all over the world. So to think that only certain skin types or ethnicities can qualify is foolish, completely foolish.
Yes, because
But maybe they just didn't have anyone that auditioned, you know, so we can't say that they eliminated all the Asians from it. You know, maybe there just hadn't been any interest or, you know, tall enough or
right.
whatever.
But I'm taking a small little break here. But when I think about it and I go through each cycle, I think of like killer Asian girls. Like we had April from cycle 2. We had Julie, cycle 3. We had, I'm throwing some names out there. We had Jen from cycle 13, who was amazing. And then my brain goes to things like American Idol, Drag Race. There's only been one Asian winner besides the international version they have, but I believe Raja, it's like season 3 is the only Asian winner of Drag Race. I would like to see more Asian representation in media, honestly. Shy, yes, Shy. I'm just, my brain's flailing right now, guys, but I honestly like to see more Asian representation in media, and I'm going to see more Asian representation from all of their spectrums. You have the people that come from India. You have the people that come from Indonesia. You have the people that come from China, Japan, Korea.
Yep.
I want to see all of that. I honestly do. I honestly have a problem with that.
And they all look so different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like
someone
to see
from
that.
Japan definitely looks different than someone from the Philippines, and representing all different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the true beauty, is being able to show everyone.
Right, guys. Sheena, yeah. And then the third thing that I just realized is that cycle 3 seems to me to almost be like the beauty cycle. You guys did a lot of like close-up shots, a lot of glamour shots, a lot of pretty shots. What do you think about that? Yeah, no, maybe so.
Yeah, definitely. I think cycle 3 was a little different. Everybody that she picked that cycle, was either shorter or like had some sort of like thing that wasn't normal in the industry, and she kind of wanted to normalize these little quirks. And I thought that was really brilliant, because it did bring some diversity, even if it wasn't as diverse as it could have been. I just think that it was one of those things that, we're all trying to fight kind of I can't explain, I guess. Yeah, there was just something that each of us had to struggle with. Eva was very short, considering, what like the stereotypical model is. Takara being plus size, like she's fighting that battle, trying to, break molds and get into the industry there. Narelle, her walk still, I just love it. I wish she could have normalized that walk.
Mm-hmm.
We need to see more of that. But, she, didn't know like how to model. She just knew that the potential was there, and so she didn't have maybe the experience or the background, but I think they looked for people that had a lot of unrecognized potential, and so that's kind of what I would maybe like tagline that season as, unrecognized potential, or like the people who you wouldn't necessarily think would be the top runners in a modeling competition.
I love how you put that, because I totally agree. Which reminds me of the reasons why we fell in love with Top Model. Top Model was so inspirational. And shout out to Tyra, Kim Mock, all the people in power who made Top Model possible, because it really did give a new face and outlook on what it meant to be beautiful and what it meant to be successful in the realm of beauty and modeling and fashion. Yeah, come on, Top Model. As much as we rip it apart and analyze it and criticize it, they also did do a lot of great things as well. And season 3 is definitely an example of that. So sorry for that tangent. I enjoyed it. Let's get back into roll call with Christy. What are your thoughts on Christy?
Christy. Mm-hmm. Christy was another one that went too early. I didn't get, a good chance to really, be friends with her. Politically, we were completely opposites, but we could still have nice, conversations. Mm-hmm. So I, respectful lady, gorgeous. Again, maybe a little too unused to the industry and not quite sure like how to work it out. But I mean, her legs, and like I was so envious of that girl's body. Like she just really had the model body, and her opportunity was just learning how to work her face and make those photos gorgeous. And I think she definitely could have been like a front runner had she maybe had a little bit of background or like worked on some face shots kind of stuff before, because like that girl nailed it. Like her swimming photo, oh whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Was she the first call out? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Guys, help us down in the chat. Who was the first call out for the swim photo shoot week 1? You said that you guys were opposite politically. Explain that for me and all of us, just so we know what you're talking about.
Well, she, went into her audition in that American flag dress,
Right.
very, very conservative Republican. And, I'm like the exact opposite of that. Like, I wouldn't even say, Democrat or anything like that. Like, I'm beyond, like, I don't know, more of like very, very liberal, I guess I would say.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. They're saying
like
that
Bernie was my guy, like stuff like that.
Gotcha. They're saying that Yaya was the first call out, and I do remember her photo.
Yeah, that was
popular opinion, guys. Norel's photo on the rocks where she's like down and her leg is doing like this cool extension thing and her arm is down and her face is looking up. I love that photo.
She was gorgeous. Like she could nail it.
Mm-hmm.
She just had that insecurity and she wasn't like 100% comfortable. And sometimes that translated. Sometimes she could get rid of it. Yeah, she definitely was gorgeous.
Right.
Still is gorgeous. I'm not saying she's not anymore.
No, 35. How was that hair photo shoot for you guys? I remember your photo with that fire. Wait, this is makeover. This is makeover week. How was makeovers for you? Did you like your makeover?
I got 2 makeovers. So originally, they cut my hair kind of like chin length, and Tyra thought I just looked like a soccer mom, so she wanted me to go shorter. So there's like there's a little part where I'm kind of talking about the girls' makeovers, and I have like the first haircut, and then you see like the after when they finally were like, no, we need to make this edgier. I really loved the color. I'd been red for a really long time. I started kind of dyeing my hair when I was like an 8th grader. And it wasn't like pretty red. It was like, Kool-Aid, like grocery store hair color red. So a more sophisticated color was much appreciated. I kept it for a really long time. So I had, like fiery red hair up until my niece. She was like 12 or 13, and I wanted to kind of tell her she didn't need to dye her hair to be beautiful. So in order to not be a hypocrite, I stopped dyeing my hair.
Oh, that's so sweet. I have done Shea Kool-Aid's podcast, Wanna Be on Top. Shea Kool-Aid from Drag Race, she does a podcast with her friend Max, and they break down episodes of Top Model, and I covered the makeover episode. I love your red hair. I love your cut. I believe I spoke about it. I did speak about it. Everybody go check that out. Shouting out Shea Kool-Aid. Love to Shea Kool-Aid and everyone over there on Wanna Be on Top podcast for always inviting me over there to come sprinkle a little in the situation. But I love your cut.
The only downside was I didn't know how to do my hair, so it was just messy and spiky for the longest time. And then I finally started to figure out how to like make that short hair really, look sophisticated. So as I was watching, I was like, God, what did I do to my hair? That's so bad.
Back to the long hair photo shoot that we've spoken about. I keep stopping. I love this photo shoot. I loved your picture. The only thing is that I wish they could have blended your short hair better with the long hair that they had. But yeah, I love your photo. Yeah. How was that photo shoot for you? Everyone just laying down and giving the gots and the oohs and the ahs. What you remember?
Yeah. We all had to be on point all at the same time in order for the shot to work. So that's kind of high pressure. You can't not be on point. So I just kept making sure that, I felt like I was not pinkying out or, closing my eyes or whatever. But one of my eyes, that was not closest to the camera, kept just like watering. I don't know why. It just like started and it was just like watering and watering and watering, but only out of the one eye. And I was so worried that my makeup was going to get ruined and that it was going to ruin the shot, but you couldn't tell in the finished photos. So.
next on the list is Jennifer Frost. What do you remember about Jennifer Frost?
Oh, she had fire. That girl was a firecracker. Super nice girl again. I wasn't when she cut her hair and was really sad about it. I just don't understand that. So that was like the only thing I was like, it's just hair. It'll grow back if you really want it that long. And it looked good. The length, I think they didn't they gave her that blonde and she just hated it. So that was probably part of, why she was crying too. But I think that, if you don't feel good in how you look, that's going to translate to the photos. And that was, I think, ultimately what was her undoing, was that she didn't feel as good in that makeover. And so I don't know, she was just a little bit more timid when she would do the next photo shoots, or didn't want that look. And that, unfortunately, and then, of course she did that thing where she wrote on her butt. And everybody, I saw everybody asking it, did I write on her butt? I don't think I did. If I did, I don't remember. But I wasn't in her bedroom. I know she said, well, maybe I'll do it. And I said, haha, that'd be hilarious or something. And then she went and did it. So I hope I wasn't the reason she did it. But I don't think I did. I don't think I wrote on her butt.
What do you remember the room feeling like when she flashed the judges?
I remember just Janice. You can read Janice, Janice is so disgusted, and as soon as Janice is over it, she's not going to vote for you. Janice was a really important person to keep on your side, and I think that right there was the flip, that made her kind of lose, that belief that Jen could be a top model. And then also too, that was a valid point. If you're on a real runway and you pull something like this, you're fired and you're not getting hired at any other shows. So it's a hard way to learn that, though.
Nigel Barker posted some photos behind the scenes of Top Model yesterday on his Instagram, and I was swiping through. In one photo, it was the set of Top Model, not cycle 3. It had to be I can't remember which cycle it was. Tyra was long hair blonde, so it had to be definitely a later cycle. But you could see the panel, you could see the catwalk that you guys walk up on, the girls walk up on, contestants walk up on. But you could also see where the producers stood on the side. I want to know, what do you remember about seeing the production on the side of the judges' room?
Well, honestly, you kind of get used to it. Those cameras are following you around all the time. Like I was saying earlier, you're not allowed to speak unless the camera is on you and you have your microphone on. So there were times where they weren't ready and they weren't rolling, and someone said something and they're, shutting that down. So eventually it's normal. So you almost don't see them anymore. They just kind of become background.
This photo shoot, I'm so sorry, guys. My memory this morning is foggy ASF. Help me, guys, down in the chat, since y'all be knowing so much. This photo shoot that Jennifer went home on. What's throwing me off? I keep forgetting 2 girls went home first. That's what I'm forgetting. 2 girls went home in the first episode. That's what's throwing my little brain off. The next person on the list is, before I go to Kelly, were you around when her and, I believe it was Anne, got into that little thing in the hallway when she pushed Anne into the wall?
I don't think that that wasn't Kelly.
No. I'm saying before I talk to Kelly. Remember when Jennifer pushed Anne into the wall? Were you around for that?
I don't think so. I only saw it on the show. But honestly, those two would be a pretty brutal battle. Jen was tough. Anne was an athlete. I think people would pay to watch that, honestly.
Right. Yeah. Was this the roller skating episode?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How was that for you?
It was really fun. When I was getting my makeup and hair done, they had already kind of started shooting some of the girls. And I was sitting underneath the makeup table before, they called me up for my hair. They had just finished the makeup and then they called me up for my hair. And I had laid down and like I sat up and smacked my head on the table. And so I had to go to the bathroom because I didn't want to be on camera crying, but like I thought I had a concussion, and I was in the bathroom for like 20 minutes before I went out and did my photo shoot.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that.
That wasn't on the show at all. Like, and again, I was kind of private about it. Like I smacked my head and then went and hid, you know, so people wouldn't see me dealing with it. So that was kind of my own fault. Like I didn't make it, you know, obvious, kind of what I was going through. And, you know, so working with that though, like once I got my hair and once I got out there, like the excitement took over and I didn't even remember that had happened. And I've really, really loved my makeover. I remember telling Danilo before I told the cameras that what he was doing with my hair was reminding me of like a Marilyn Monroe that was painted by Andy Warhol. Right. And he like kind of got teared up a little. Like, I think like it was just such a compliment to him for me to just love it that much. But yeah, they were fabulous. I was hoping that, or like I was missing them this morning when I was getting ready. I was like, where's my team?
Yes, I know that's right. I know that's right. I love that roller skating photo shoot of you guys. I think that was such a cool, airy, beauty, but edgy like thought. And I remember your photos were always really well, always stunning. But that photo of you, I really liked a lot.
Thank you. Jay said that I really struggled to get that photo. And I think that's why he called it the shot of the century, because I wasn't doing so well. And then all of a sudden, you know, we've got this one magic shot, luckily. Otherwise, you know, that could have been my time to go that, you know, that round too. So let me ask you this then. You said that was a shot of the century. You struggled. What are your opinions on the critique or the thought that they purposefully sometimes choose the girl's not her best photo? Well, I do think that there was a little bit of that in some, you know, models. I think that it kind of just boils down to that it is a reality TV show, and they do have, you know, kind of their script, not necessarily like written out script, but what, you know, kind of like the, I guess the outline of, you know, what they want to see happen. You know, they're paying money to produce this show, so what they think and what they say, you know, is the final say. So if they don't want someone to progress, you know, they might show the worst. Or maybe with Anne, maybe she was brilliant that whole time and they wanted to make it seem like she was really struggling. I mean, who knows? I can't say with any certainty. But, you know, there is always that like, I wonder if that was the best.
Right. Okay. The next person on our list is Kelly Jacob.
If you got good dick and good balls, make some noise! If you getting on a fat, wet pussy, make some fucking noise! It's a celebration tonight. Oh my God. Y'all make some noise for my co-host tonight. Mr. Oliver Twixt is in the building.
They say I'm acting funny. I ain't acting funny, no. I ain't acting funny, no. I ain't acting funny, no. Money. I ain't acting funny, no. I ain't acting funny, no. I ain't acting funny, no. Money. I ain't acting funny, no. I ain't acting funny, no. I ain't acting funny, no. Money. And I ain't acting funny, no. I ain't acting funny, no. I ain't acting funny, no.
Darius is definitely the whore of the group.
The whore of the group? My God.
Yeah. Side.
Okay, well,
no, it's your ass! Oh my God! Bitch, somebody want the motherfucker.
She was so sweet. She kind of got a bad rap. She came off messy, like, I mean, she was the girl in $500 pants and she would like talk about it, you know, like who does that if they don't want to be seen as, you know, like better than someone. So I hope that, well, actually, I know that she learned kind of like how she was coming off maybe was creating that problem for her. And like towards the end, I remember she was asking me like, I would never be able to be a punk rocker, like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know, it's all in your head. Like, it's not about how you dress. It's about like your attitude and what you're going to do with yourself. You know, so I was like trying to like pep her up and be like, you can be punk too in her Gucci pants. That's ridiculous. But like the whole point was like, you can't just get so caught up in your own head, you know, like just be okay with it.
Right.
And, you know, she was gorgeous. Like, holy crap, that woman, you know, in in person, like stunning.
Mm-hmm.
If I recall correctly, she won. We did like some posing,
Mm-hmm.
and she won that. So like when the camera wasn't on her, she was just like fierce. And then as soon as she got in front of that camera, she just didn't remember like how to hold her face, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't know. And I think too, like sometimes if you kind of like people tell you something bad about yourself and then you just like, immediately assume it's true, that can kind of backfire on you too, you know, because then you're like, well, that's true. I might as well not fight it, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think hers was in her head and she could have definitely overcome.
Definitely. I like how you put that. Do you think that they were trying to give Kelly a chance by keeping her around, or do you think it was produced torture for our entertainment?
I think maybe a little bit of both. Like I definitely know that they saw potential in her. Like
Mm-hmm.
her skin, absolutely flawless. Like she had, like it looked like a painting. Like I mean, but at the same time, like what they showed, like her, you know, her struggle, I think, you know, was kind of making it more magnified for her too. Like, and just, I mean, she was always in the mirror, like crying. That shouldn't be the case, you know? I don't know. I think maybe a little bit of it broke her down.
Yeah. This photo shoot, one of the ones I remember the most, which is you guys jumping on the trampoline with the can of Red Bull. How was that photo shoot for you?
That was fabulous. Again, okay, so I was the first girl that did the photos, and I had a full can. Like my can still had liquid in it. And so I'm doing my photo shoot and it fell on the trampoline and knocked me in the head again. They didn't show that on the camera. Like they never showed any of my struggles. So here I am again, another like potential concussion, and they're like, "Hey, maybe we should empty those cans out so they're not like missiles on the trampoline, because you're jumping, they're, you know, flopping around you." But I really loved it. Like the makeup, I remember that was like my first, like, this is Vogue makeup, Matthew. Like, what? Wow. And he was like, girl, you've got a Vogue face. He was a total sweetheart. So my boobs kept popping out though. Like I was Takara part 2. You know, like, or no, her dress stayed up. Her dress stayed up. It was Kelly's that didn't.
Yeah, Kelly's.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But yeah, like I had, you know, little pasties on, and they're like, we'll just airbrush it out, just keep going. So I'm sure the photo editors got a whole big show.
I love your pose. You were like, I don't like Tyra Banks. That's some shit her corny ass would do. But no, your photo was really amazing. How
Thank you.
were you around when Yaya kind of had like a little moment at that photo shoot where she was kind of like, I don't know, she wasn't in best Yaya, you know, she wasn't vibrating high. Her frequency wasn't high.
Right. Well, she was thrown off, like, and they kind of called her on that too. Like, she took everything they said completely 100% to heart. And I think Jay Manuel put it best, like, if everybody tells you what not to do, at the end of the day, you're not going to be left with anything to do. And I mean, she got it back. Like, it was one offshoot for her. Super talented girl. Like, you know, she's obviously become very successful since then. You know, that didn't hurt her at all, but it was kind of funny to see her be so annoyed, because she was, you know, capable of nailing that photo shoot a million times over.
Oh my God. I feel like that is such a missed moment. And some rich person who watches me, or if your father is rich, your mother's rich, let's scrounge up a couple of tens of thousands of dollars. I'm pretty sure that's how much it would cost to get Yaya to redo that photo shoot and do it the way she potentially could have done it back then, because I feel like we got cheated out of a moment.
Top model should do that for her. Yeah.
And
bring her back to her one photo shoot.
And you know, and while we're on the idea of what top models should do, I was thinking about this the other day, I would love, maybe it could be a Netflix thing or a Hulu thing or Amazon thing, where we take every cycle, hosted by me, of course, and Shea Coulee. It could be me, Shea Coulee, and somebody else. I don't know. We'll figure that part out. But we take each cycle and it put you guys back in the house. We what I'm doing right now, we revisit some of those things that happened in the past, but we recreate some of these photo shoots that you guys did back then to see what you guys could do now. It's kind of like Iyanla Vanzant Fix My Life meets, I don't know, Top Model meets Bad Girls Club meets something else.
Find a producer. I'm sure you could get that show made. I'm sure you could.
I'm enjoying talking to you. I'm just getting lost in my questions, not paying attention to anything. Who is next? Who went home next? Cassie. Cassie went home next. What are your thoughts on Cassie?
Cassie was, again, gorgeous. She had so many things going on inside, though. Like, I mean, she struggled with her weight. She struggled with her self-confidence. She struggled with just everything. And she just seemed unhappy. But again, like her face, oh my God, she was just so beautiful. But it was like so weird to me because like some of those photos, I was like, that doesn't even look like her. And like they were the ones that they said were bad because like in real life, she's just so pretty and so like sweet and innocent. She kind of threw off like Britney Spears vibes to me, like just that southern, like gorgeous blonde. Like I felt like she could, you know, take it and run, and I'm glad she didn't. You know, because obviously she was my competition, but you know, it was really sad that she just battled so hard, and I think that, you know, ultimately that is kind of what got her. She couldn't fully focus on, you know, this competition and being full and present and in the moment, and you know, she just wasn't happy, so that was really sad.
How was that two personality photo shoot for you? Again, another stellar one. Oh my God, that the image of you, because you had like a pale white type look with like a headpiece dangling.
They took away my eyebrows. I had no eyebrows. Like it was definitely really creative makeup. I was supposed to be like a glam rocker. So the stylist had picked out like fur and like a whole different outfit. And when she showed me this little fur shirt, I instantly was like, what are you trying to do to me? No, I will not wear that. Why do you even have fur? This is stupid. I hate it. And like, I went on this big rant about how impractical it was to, you know, even have fur in the fashion industry anymore, which I was ahead of my time because they stopped doing fur now. You know, like Balenciaga, Gucci, they're not doing fur. So I wasn't being crazy, but so they kind of had to retool my original look from that like glam rock, whatever. And so that's where I got this kind of gothy, like something. I'm not really sure what it was, but it was cool. And then like my other gal, I loved it. I felt like a very like retro pinup, but they just like didn't interact. So it was kind of just like a weird picture. I remember I had a whip and I smacked the Mustang at one point, and Jay was like, whoa, no.
Wow, girl, we can't do that.
Yeah.
The next person on the list is the fabulous Takara.
Oh my God. Takara should have won. Really, honestly, like she should have won. She was I thought my biggest competition. I wanted to root for her though. Like, and I guess kind of, when I signed up for Top Model, the previous 2 seasons had Sephora as the main prize. And then when I got on there, it was CoverGirl. And I asked Tyra if CoverGirl tested on animals, and she said, I don't think so. Well, I knew that they did. And so like, it was like a struggle for me. I was like, oh, I want this so bad, but I don't want a contract with a company that tests on animals. That just goes against everything I believe in. And so if like I started thinking about it, if I was going to win, I was going to graciously decline the prize and like hope Takara like was my number 2, like, and that she could have it, like have the contract. Like I wanted to give it to like Takara. Truthfully, like, but she's done so well for herself. She didn't need that. She's amazing. I love Takara.
Okay, you just blew my mind in like 60 seconds. That was definitely a question I was going to ask you. People wanted to know about this thing and you not wanting to be a cover girl because of them testing on animals and you having a conversation with Tyra. So this is fact. This actually happened.
Yes. Yep, it did.
So what was that conversation like with Tyra?
It was just kind of casual and innocent. I don't remember when it happened. Like if it was, you know, in like a one-on-one, like the one-on-ones where we sat down and talked to each other. I believe that is when I brought it up, but, you know, but I was just like, hey, you know, don't they do this? And she said, I don't think so. And I knew she just didn't want to say, yeah, they do, you know, because who wants to admit that? Nobody wants to admit that. And, you know, like, again, she's a producer. She's producing a show. She put her money into this. That's the sponsor. She's not going to say anything bad about them. And was it last year they stopped testing on animals? Last year or this year, CoverGirl decided they're not going to do it anymore.
Wowzers. Okay, look at you being ahead of your time. Did you tell anybody, any of the girls, any of the producers, that about what you just shared with us, that you wouldn't be interested? Okay.
Not really. I maybe mentioned, like, I don't know if that's for me. I don't know if I like explicitly had this conversation.
Gotcha.
If I had, it would have been with either Yaya or Amanda, because those were the two that I regularly spoke with in depth on, you know, just everything. So
how was the iconic A&TM photo shoot with the tarantula?
I was so nervous. Nobody likes spiders. I was what I considered arachnophobic before I met, my tarantula's name was Morticia. So the handler was really calming. She was like, these are my pets. I've named them, you know, they don't bite. They're really gentle creatures. And so I just kind of mind over mattered it. As soon as they put it on my face, it felt like the little tiny kitten claws, like very, very fine, tiny claws. And that's kind of how it hangs on. And so I just pretended it was a kitten the whole time. I was like, I have a kitten on my face. This thing is cute.
I really want to do a visual that harkens to some of my favorite photo shoots from Top Model. And that is definitely one of my favorite photo shoots just because of how like glamorous but terrifying it looks. I just don't know how I'm going to get myself comfortable with something crawling on my face like that. Like I'm gonna, and I was like, well, maybe if I eat an edible, maybe I'll sedate me. Maybe like if I'm sedated, I won't think about it. I just don't know. And
it's all in your head.
And the
it's
fact
100%
that you said
in your
it's
head.
hanging.
Yeah, claw. Like you felt the claws. They were like in there. That's how they grip things. Is those little? They're very, very fine, tiny, tiny little claws. 2 claws in each leg. So what is that? 16 claws. It's a lot of claws. Lots of vodka. I just saw.
Lots of vodka. Stop cooking. I'll probably have to put it on my hand. It's probably just have to be on my hand, just so like if I need to like y'all can get this before I fling it. Yeah, I don't know if it could go on my face. That's a lot. Yeah.
Well, again, if that handler wasn't so just, you know, confident and comfortable with her own, you know, they were her pets. And once I knew that it was named Morticia, I thought that was really cute. I love the Addams Family. That's like one of my favorites. So I knew that Morticia and I were going to do this.
And that you guys did, because you got first call out that week.
I was surprised. I was honestly surprised that they decided to call me out first.
Oh no, your photo was amazing. Your photo with the nails. I mean, again, Nicole, all your photos were amazing. All your photos were amazing. The next person is Norel. What are you
Norel was
Norel?
So sweet. She was just really like an innocent little like she was the epitome of like the Southern California girl with her little short skirt and her Ugg boots and, you know, just her like obsession with Paris Hilton. She was just charming and sweet and was just really friendly to everyone. Again, never like rude to anyone or condescending. But yeah, just a sweet gal. I wanted to keep in touch with her after the show. I was living in Southern California and we kind of were like on Facebook or whatever we had at the time, but it just kind of fell away, I guess. I don't really talk to her anymore.
Are you guys friends on Instagram?
I don't think so.
She's on Instagram. I've seen her profile. She's always on Instagram.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Yeah, yay.
I'm friends with Julie on Instagram and Takara and Amanda. But I think that's it.
Julie?
Yeah.
Can you
I know how to find Julie. I know how to find Julie.
Can you help me find Julie?
I can. I'll ask her if it's okay. I'll ask her if it's okay first, but then yeah, you got it.
Respeto. What do you think about Narelle's big fall during that catwalk situation?
That was like, you couldn't have written a better reality TV moment. Like, her idols, Heather Rett, she was just so excited to be doing that show, and she loved them. And like, I think honestly, of all the models, she was the only one that like really knew their collection. When we saw them, we were all like, oh, cool designers. And she's like, oh my God, they're my favorite. So I mean, again, perfect for reality TV. I felt terrible that she fell. She was the finisher of the show too. She had that ball gown at the end. So, I mean, she was even more looked at, I think, than the rest of us kind of were just like filtering through. And then she was like the pow. You know how runway shows always do that. They put like the best one at the very end. But she made it. So it wasn't her undoing. I think that honestly, it made it more memorable to like, the Heatherette team because they're like, oh yeah, that girl. But she never did walk again for that.
That was funny. The next person on the list is Anne. What are your thoughts on Anne? Because you got to get down. You're not going to stick. Bye.
Anne. Well, Anne was definitely like one of those girls that you see in person and you don't think she's real either. She's got like the height and she was so athletic. And I remember she was really sweet too. She offered to help me kind of work out like, hey, this is what I do. If you want to like come do these leg things or whatever, I can, kind of show you some of my stuff. So she knew that I kind of wanted a little bit more of like her athleticism and she was willing to share, which was really sweet. I think too that, again, if production was using her absolute best photos, then they kept her because they really wanted her to succeed. Or if production wasn't using her best photos, they just wanted her there. And you could tell. And like, I know I said something kind of rude to her at one point. I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was along the lines of, you're not taking good photographs. I don't even know why you keep getting all these second chances. And that, kind of made her, and I wasn't trying to be a evil or rude, but it kind of came out that way.
Yeah. I was just
and again, she's gorgeous and she's competition. We're all like getting kind of catty because we don't want these other women around us. We want it, and
yeah.
So I'm sorry, Anne, if, I hurt your feelings then, because you definitely have, worked a lot since the show. So don't listen to me anyway.
You saying, you speaking about her athleticism reminds me of the challenge you guys had where you guys had to run up all those flights of stairs and then pose at the end. How was that for you?
Oh my God. Like, I couldn't even breathe. How am I supposed to pose? But I was fourth. I was like really impressed that, I was right behind Yaya, Anne, and Eva. So I definitely, had some, what do they call that? Conditioning? No. Where you can run for a long time.
Oh, stamina.
Yes.
Stamina. That's one of my favorites.
Had a little bit of that. They showed a shot of me running up the stairs and I kind of made like the most hilarious face. I was like sucking in air and like doing something weird, trying to just keep going. And that was like the, the second that they decided to show of me. I was making that really goofy face.
Of course, you're always going to get those moments. Always going to get those moments. Yeah. Next on the list is Amanda.
Amanda was so sweet. She was in my room with me and we kind of bonded a lot. We had a lot in common, just like in terms of politics, in terms of, like animal rights, like stuff like that. We could really connect on that. I think she kind of got a bunk edit. She did not talk about being blind as much as they showed her talking about being blind on show. Like, she was not using that as an excuse. She would tell people when she met them just so they understood, like that she had kind of a different set of needs. But like, I swear every time she opened her mouth when they, showed her on TV, that was all she ever said. And that really wasn't, she didn't talk about it like that. So she definitely was a great model. I think she worked a little bit after. She did some other like campaigns and I was really proud of her. So
were you in the audience when the whole crystal snafu happened in the house?
Yes. So if you remember, Amanda had me like help her set a trap. And so I wrote on one of her dollar bills, like she put $10 out. She had a really funny thing she said was $10 to catch a bitch. And then I wrote Nicole's sweet ass on there. So I wonder, someone has a $10 bill with Nicole's sweet ass written on it. You guys check your wallets right now. I actually wrote that.
Somewhere in this world, there's a $10 bill that says Nicole's sweet ass on it. That is iconic. That is iconic. Narelle just joined the chat. Hey, Narelle. What's your opinion on how the whole crystal debacle happened and all that? What's your take on it?
Well, I think she just misplaced them, and then she just like instantly went salty. I don't know, like I think it had to do with the missing laundry. Yeah, there was like missing laundry, and Eva handed it out, so she just assumed Eva was like some big thief, when really, the dry cleaners maybe just didn't drop it off or something. I don't know.
What are your thoughts on Yaya DaCosta?
Yaya, again, I think they edited her poorly. She was smart and determined, and she took the competition very seriously. And that can be misconstrued for being, snotty or whatever. But no, she just really wanted to win. She was there, focused, trying her hardest. She was concerned about, like her skin and like getting that under control. So, managing stress, getting the right, sleep and vitamins. And again, like I could talk to her about like really heavy subjects, not just like the normal kind of like, I don't know. It's harder to explain, but we would have really good conversations. And I don't know, she was just a really great person, but I could see where, she came off the way they showed her. The respect thing, that shirt she wore in the Browningate incident. Yeah, like, she wasn't out there like trying to like start something. It was like Anne who had asked her what it meant, and then it kind of went from there. And I remember like Amanda and I were like, really, it was Teeny. We were at Teeny, which is a vegan restaurant owned by Moby, and I was so excited to be in a vegan restaurant owned by Moby. Like, who wouldn't want to be there enjoying their time? And then I'm dealing with all this drama, and I know like Amanda and I were both kind of just like, come on, can't we just have a nice dinner, you guys? But that's not a TV show, so.
Thank you for bringing it up. We can talk about it right now. There were a lot of questions about your opinions regarding Cassie and some of the things that she was dealing with, as well as that table scene with Anne and everybody talking and them going back and forth. What's your take on what Cassie was experiencing, as well as how everyone kind of responded to her in the house?
I think that there was validity in what Anne and Eva did, because Cassie was historically very messy and did leave it in the kitchen. But at the same time, why couldn't you just say that to her face? Call her out. Don't be like, and then, well, the thing I think that got me was that they didn't confess that they did it until way later. Just say like, yeah, I did it. What do you have a problem with? Instead of like footing around like, nope, wasn't me. Like, I don't know. But again, we were like, more immature. We were like 20 somethings. So, where our heads are now versus where they were then is completely changed.
Gotcha. And last but not, before I go to Eva, I don't know why in this chat I'm having such an analytical eye on just tropes and stereotypes and stuff like that, which it's spoken a lot about the confident Black woman in reality TV and how that, and this is where I want to be fair, because I don't want to make any assumptions on anyone's intentions or character. As a viewer, as someone who's avidly watched Top Model, I feel like when girls of color, specifically Black girls, when they're confident and when they are educated, when they know what they're talking about, and they're not, I won't say shy about it, but their intelligence is something that's a part of their vernacular and their their lifestyle. it gets shown in a negative light. And I do think, in hindsight, looking at it now, Yaya being on Top Model, her being this very Afrocentric woman, her being this very intelligent woman with a lot of culture about her, a lot of multicultural knowledge about her, was definitely a missed opportunity. That would have been like, if they could have done that and made it a positive thing, think about how many boys and girls that could have really inspired. Instead of saying being intelligent and being confident is something that should be shunned and looked down upon.
I agree. Yeah, she was not out to get people, and she wasn't rude. It was only when, you know, someone asked her something, she would just explain her side, and they would like take it the wrong way. So I agree. Completely agree.
And you know what? To everybody's watching, I'm about to take another pause too, because I used to do the same thing where I would kind of apologize for my intelligence or knowledge if I knew something. I'm no longer going to apologize that I picked up a book, and it's just what I do. And if you're out there, and it doesn't even have to be intelligent, if you're beautiful, if you have something that people may consider substantially better than other people, don't apologize for it, okay? Don't apologize. Don't make no apologies for it. Be you, be confident, and if it makes someone uncomfortable, fuck them.
Yep, I agree. It's usually their own insecurity that they're upset about, not anything you're doing. So yeah, be yourself 100% of the time.
Last but
and
not
be
least,
nice to people who are smart.
What you say, babes?
Be nice to people who are smart. They're not trying to be jerks.
No, they're not. They're just smart. Let them be.
Yeah.
Last but not least, Eva
the diva. She didn't know why people call her that, but everyone else did. Eva was perfect for the win of a reality TV show. I know that she's photogenic and beautiful and has that larger than life personality. But I really think that reality TV suits her amazingly. And obviously she's made a killer career out of it. And that was who they picked to win. Off camera, what they didn't show about Eva is a little different than what they did show. There were, many times she just out of nowhere would say something really crappy. I think maybe she was trying to get in my head, or I don't know. I'm not, speaking for Eva, but maybe she did perceive me as some sort of threat. So she wanted me to feel like, less confident or whatever. But I mean, we weren't close or anything. I don't have any, negative feelings toward her. But I wasn't like rooting for her because she wasn't like genuine all the time. She was kind of, you couldn't really tell if she was being nice to you because she wanted to be nice to you, or if like there was some other reason. Like, I don't know. Just because she said some crappy stuff to me off camera that of course didn't make it.
Do you want to share with us what she said? Do you remember?
Well, I know, like, I haven't thought about it for so long, but I do remember one time, it was when we were doing the makeup for the Veragio Diamonds with the tarantula photo shoot. So her and I were both sitting in the makeup chair. The cameras weren't on us. We didn't have our mics on, so we weren't supposed to be talking to each other. And I don't know if at judging the week prior, they had said, like, I kind of have a big nose, so I need to work on, like, my angles for it or whatever. But she goes, you do have a really big nose. Okay, thank you. I was like, so do you. Like, what is even this conversation? But, again, we were 20 something, like when you're in a pressure cooker surrounded by other people that are your competition, you're probably not your normal, self. So I'm not holding anything against her or anything like that. But I just know that, yeah, she was always kind of trying to like stick it to me when she could.
Damn, Eva. I'm pretty sure she's mature and she doesn't act like that anymore. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. And again, gorgeous girl. She, is very talented, very personable. I can see why they picked her as a winner.
I was looking at Eva's photos a while ago, a couple of weeks ago, just randomly just looking at her. And I was like, I wonder if Instagram and social media was like a thing, or if Top Model, like if the same thing would have been happening in the age of social media. I just know Eva. I mean, she's still a big deal. You know, she still has an amazing career. But like when she was young and when she just first stepped on the scene, I feel like she would have been like one of those girls who just would have been out here killing it, like just eating it up. She is that woman is gorgeous. Just to even look at her. I wonder if Tyra saw herself in Eva a little bit. I'm curious, like especially because Eva doesn't have. Eva has like green eyes too, right?
I think they're like maybe like a honey or
something like.
I don't think they're like brown, but maybe like I'm not sure, like a honey, kind of hazel green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm really enjoying this chat with you. I really am. Roll call is taking an hour and 30 minutes, but I really enjoyed it. Okay, the judges this cycle. Well, before we get to judges, what's your thoughts on Mr. J? He was the creative director for you guys' photo shoots.
He was so professional and so willing to help everyone. You had to listen to him though. Like he didn't want to repeat himself and tell you 35 times.
Right.
Yeah, no one wants that. You know, like if I tell you something, I want you to hear it. Maybe ask me a question to clarify, but I'm not going to keep repeating myself. So I don't blame him for getting, you know, like short with some of the gals who needed, you know, like coddling. You know, he worked with every single one of us and tried to make all of us successful. So to ask for, you know, like special help or not take his direction, I could see where he would get really frustrated.
Mm-hmm. Did you read his book?
No, I haven't, but I want to. I didn't even know he wrote one. I don't know why I didn't know that he wrote one. I love to read.
Yeah, I read it.
I'm going to get it. Like, I'll probably go order it today.
Yeah, it's I can't remember the title. I just know it's The Meltdown. Really nice read. What are your thoughts on Nole Marin?
Nole, he was never a fan of me. I wasn't really a fan of him either, I guess. So feelings mutual. I loved his little dog though. She was really the star. And so I look forward to seeing them when he had Empress Minnie with him. I hope she's, you know, doing well, and if not, rest in peace.
Yeah, she's gone.
But yeah, like he didn't like me, whatever. I'm over it.
Yeah. No, Empress Minnie did perish. She is no longer with us. May she rest in peace. Well, cute baby. The next person is Nigel Barker.
Nigel, I think all of us probably had a crush on him, but he was really, really helpful, and he was never like skeezy, you know, like he could easily have become that because he was like the handsome photographer guy. But yeah, he was always just really professional and tried to help us as best he knew how, and you know, he was a little intimidating on the judging panel, but he was never like, you know, saying anything that wasn't warranted. So, you know, you kind of listen when he would speak to you.
Gotcha. The next person is Janice Dickinson.
Janice was my favorite. She was the one that you should have really listened to. She was the one that told you the most straight. I feel like all the rest of the judges kind of like tiptoed around what they were trying to say, but Janice didn't at all. And, you know, after I was eliminated, like I had conversations with her after the fact, and she's my favorite.
Yeah, shout out to Janice Dickinson. Hopefully I can get her on here. That would be I would probably quit after that. After I talk to Janice, I'm done. No, I'm playing. And last but not least, Tyra Banks.
Well, Tyra is kind of like a fairy godmother that you don't really get to like know that well. So here she is trying to help you, but you don't really like know her. She kind of kept her distance. Everything seemed like it was for the camera. Like you couldn't really talk to her unless the cameras were rolling, which I mean makes sense. Again, they're making a show, but it kind of came off a little like robotic almost, or like impersonable, not quite sincere. But you know, again, she's a producer, it's her money, she's got a show to produce. So I really kind of didn't understand that. I think when we were filming, I was more like expecting just like a pure modeling competition. And so it kind of threw me off with like expectations to, I don't know if they were looking for drama or whatnot, but I felt like I didn't really get recognized, or, you know, she kept saying like I had no personality, but then like I would do all these like interviews with, you know, the producers on the side when they're kind of asking like our take on what happened. And like, I'm sitting in there and the producer's like, I don't see what they're seeing either. Like, you're making me laugh. Like, this is fun, you know? And so like when I got eliminated, I kind of like lipped off a little. I said some stuff, like I just was really upset with her. And I kind of told her, like, basically I told her that the reason that models aren't on the covers of magazines anymore and that actresses and actors are is because modeling isn't that hard, and actors and actresses have to work so much harder to be famous. And like, I just said all this stuff that I may, you know, like I didn't fully mean. I was just like salty in the moment. And I think that really made her upset, because here I was, like, she gave me this gift and then I kind of just rejected it and like lipped off to her. And you know, like I wouldn't take it back because it was how I felt in the moment, but you know, I would tell her, you know, like, hey, I didn't mean it, you know, like that. I don't know, I guess I didn't mean it the way it came off. Like, it was me just being upset and saying things that were just like right fresh on my mind and not having a filter at all. And I wasn't as unappreciative as it seemed. And you know, there was, I guess, just more like sadness in there that came off. But yeah, I mean, again, she's producing a reality TV show, and you know, that concept hadn't fully actualized for me. I, you know, was just trying to be a model, and I did feel like, you know, they kind of skipped over my successes when they chopped me in the commercial. I wasn't the worst, you know, like there were people that performed worse than me, but I still was the one to go. It is what it is. I mean, I'm not upset about it anymore. I was for a while. I kind of struggled with it for a while, but you learn.
Right. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing all that stuff with me and my friends here. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. A lot of things that you said, I want to touch on. Nicole, you're really good at this. I hope you like ain't nervous, because you're really good at this, and you're really making me like think over here. I'm really enjoying this. The first thing that came in my brain was there, let me ask you this question before I speak. Was there any type of conversation with you guys in the realm of, hey y'all, we're filming a reality TV show, so we have to film everything. So just know that if you want to have a conversation, if you're talking, we have to film it just in case you say something that could be used later. Was that conversation ever had with y'all?
Absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
They made it very clear. Yeah, if we didn't have our microphones on, we weren't allowed to talk. If they didn't have cameras on us, we needed to not say what we were thinking until the camera was ready for us.
And so, like, in interactions with Tyra, and it's always like a with me, because I get one side with, this is a business, this is a TV show, people are on the clock getting paid, we need to get in, we need to get out. And her at that time, especially around cycle 3, Mama was still kind of modeling a little bit. Mama was gearing up for her talk show. Mama was doing top model. Like, she was doing a lot. And I can only imagine the energy she needed to have to be able to successfully do everything she needed to do. So I sympathize with her to a very actually high degree when it comes to, she may not be the most talkative. She may not be, you know, the most personal right now, because she's probably running on negative 50 right now. But right. I wonder if Tyra would have been the personable person that she presents, right? Because she presents as a personable person in the media. If she just would have been like, hey girl, I know we about to talk, but just let these cameras get set up real fast so they can capture. Hold on, baby. Don't talk right fast. Just hold, you know, would something like that would have made you feel a little bit better?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. But I'm also kind of sensitive, and I take things a little bit harsher than they're meant, even. Like, still to this day, like, someone can tell me, you know, like, I like your shoes, and I might think the tone was snotty or something, and that it was sarcasm.
Cool. No, I got you. I just always think, I think it's very important with people like a Tyra Banks, with people who are very strong and, for lack of better terms, the most important person in the room, you know, right. You almost got to work extra hard to come off. I mean, if that's your goal. Now, if you don't give a fuck, clearly Tyra ain't give a fuck. But you have to almost work extra hard to be kind of self-aware of what's going on so that you put people around you in a comfortable place to be able to talk to you so that you come off relatable, if that's your goal,
Yeah.
That. Now, you said something, and I just want to get clarification on where you shared that you shared your thoughts with her. Was this at the point that you had got eliminated, that you spoke to her? Because I know my brain is fuzzy. This wasn't something that was shown in the episode, right?
No.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was after I got eliminated. They filmed kind of that final scene where you're talking about stuff and you're crying and you're, you know, saying that those last few lines and then you walk out. So it was in that moment where I was just dumping, like, how do you feel now that you're eliminated? I was grouchy.
So, okay, and if you're comfortable with it, can you recount to us again what you said? Because it gagged me. I was like, oh my God, wait, what about this actress and magazine thing? If that's okay.
Well, at the very beginning, when we were in Los Angeles, she said, you know, I'm looking for the next top model because actresses are taking over the magazines, and models aren't. Yeah, and models aren't on the covers anymore. And so I kind of came full circle with that in my elimination and said that this is why, because you're getting rid of a good model for an actress, essentially.
I know she saw it, and yeah, she probably was angry. Were there things that happened that told you she was angry with you?
Well, okay, no, because, okay, so filming ended, I gave that rant, and then I'm watching the show expecting to see, you know, me in it, and I really wasn't. Like, there was so many situations where they went over everyone in the judging panel, like the runway show, they didn't show what Jay said about how I walked. When Tyra was asking about our insecurities, they didn't show what I said to Tyra about my insecurities. Like, there was just so many things where she like literally asked every single one of us a thing and just showed everyone but me. So I think that she decided, like, when I was all mad, this is just my thoughts, I'm not saying it's, you know, fact, but I think that she decided, like, I wasn't appreciating it and I was so mad at her that, like, fine, you don't have it then. So I'll show you, you know, because she, you know, had the final cut and the edits. And there was a time I was in the airport and a gal came up to me and she goes, this is going to sound really crazy, but you don't know me, but I know you so well. I'm one of the editors on the show. And she goes, I'm really sorry about how we had to frame you. And it hurt my heart to see all of your clips just on the floor.
What's going on, y'all? Hope y'all are enjoying, but we gotta interrupt this right fast for a word from our sponsors.
Like, they just threw them all away, kind of, like. So she actually came up to me and apologized. Tyra doesn't know that, I'm sure. No one does.
We know now.
You know now. You're the first. So that led me to believe that there was more to it.
That there was a directive given to say, hey, we got to push this to the side, do this specific thing. If she felt the need to come apologize to you.
Yeah. She was like, I was your biggest fan. I wanted more of you in the show, but it didn't make it. So I'm really sorry. I want to see all the deleted scenes. That's what I'm interested in. I want to see what's on.
Tyra and Kim, go get that money. Go put the deleted scenes together. Put that shit on Netflix and watch it crash.
People would watch it. Yeah. People would watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, they filmed us. Yeah, they filmed us constantly. Like every 3 days, we would have to sit in interviews, and those interviews, I want to say, were like 2 to 3 hours long. Like they got a lot from all of us, and so that's how they were able to put together that so and so said something about you, because every single time we sat in those interviews, they would ask us something about every single girl on the show. So even if you weren't talking about these girls, that wasn't kind of your vibe. You know, they're putting up what you said about them, like you're sitting in there like gossiping or being, you know, catty, and that's again for the show. But I really, you know, don't think that we were all talking about each other as much as it seemed like, because of the way they did those interviews.
Now, I see someone down in the comments saying, how would the editors know? Listen, y'all know I've worked on reality TV before with World of Wonder WeTV. But there's a lot of people who know you that you will never meet. And there's been people that have DM'd me that be like, I was the storyline producer for this episode. This. I'm like, girl, I don't even know who you are. And they're like, you know, we'll just have a conversation. There's a lot of people that work on these shows that people would never see, don't even know about, but their job is to watch everything, listen to everything, go over everything, make sure it's cohesive and it goes together. So I believe that story, like that. I'm so sorry.
It's not you. It's fine.
But I'm so sorry. Like that just like cut me. Okay. I missed someone earlier, and it was Miss J. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Oh, Miss
J.
J.
What are your thoughts on Miss J? Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. You know, she was someone that you could listen to everything she said. She was hilarious, knew her shit. I miss her.
Now, Amanda commented down in the chat and said that a lot of your scenes were cut because you were singing all the time. Probably. She said she misses your singing.
They didn't buy the rights to all those songs, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I kind of fell out of like doing all of my creative things, but right now I'm actually, you guys will be happy to know, I'm in the process of building a recording studio, and I am going to self-produce and release an album. So
that is so dope. Now listen, you can definitely tell me no, because I'm an artist and I hate when people do it to me, but is it okay if you like sing us something right now? If you're not ready, it's totally fine. I totally get it. Well,
I don't know how good the sound quality is on the phone, so I worry about that, but I used to sing Ain't No Sunshine a lot. Like Yaya loved when I would sing, Amanda loved when I would sing, and they like Ain't No Sunshine was kind of the song I sang. I could maybe do a little.
Okay.
I'll just do one, okay?
Yeah. Not a lot.
Ain't no sunshine when he's gone, and he's always gone too long. Anytime he goes away.
I love the tone of your voice. I did not expect that. It's very sultry. Listen, everybody clap for Nicole.
Thank you.
Clap for you right now, Nicole. Yes, ma'am. Oh
my ear's a little plugged, so I hope that was all right.
Oh, no. Girl, yes, ma'am. Y'all come talk about everything. Okay, we got some fan questions to get through, and then we're going to be done. Is that okay with you?
Sure, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't realize how long this was going.
Yes, no, we've been talking for a good... I really enjoyed talking to you. I really have. This was really dope.
Thank you. You have me back maybe when I release my album?
Oh, of course. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, of course. Okay. Just hit me up, say the word, and we'll set it up.
Perfect.
Okay.
You'll be the first to know.
Oh, yes. I love exclusive shit. Yes. Okay. Oreo Cookie 90 wants to know, who is she friends with today on her season, and whom will she never hang out with?
Well, I guess I don't really hang out with any of them, but I would honestly, like, if any of them, if I was in their city or whatever and they hit me up, I would go have lunch with any of them. No bad blood. I think especially like it would be amazing to be able to see Eva again, or the people that maybe I didn't get along with as well. I think like if I could see Takara, Amanda, Yaya, all those girls again, it would be a blessing, because I had, the closest connection with them. Amanda, Norel. I'm sad that I don't live in Southern California anymore, because I think that I could have, hung out with Norel a little bit more. But
and where
yeah, I would go with any of them. What's up?
Where are you now again?
North Dakota.
North Dakota. Right. Gotcha.
Yeah, kind of far away from everything, but it's kind of nice right now. Like, it's a little bubble, so a little protected bubble.
Yeah.
I'll break it soon. I am gonna break it. Don't you worry.
BC215, question for Nicole. Duh. Can you tell us your perspective of the colonic situation? Is there anything else that happened that didn't make it to the show?
Well, like, the colonics were really probably not like pretty, you know, like we all kind of looked like a little rough after. You know, you go in there, you don't have makeup, and then it's kind of wild. I had never gotten one before, but after I could understand, you know, the reasoning, and I always wanted to get them. So I continued kind of getting them up until, I don't know, it's probably been like 10 years now, but for a long time after the show, I was getting them when I was in like California.
Yes, I've never had one. I'm very interested.
They really are awkward and invigorating. Like, it's really the best way to explain them.
Delion_Jr. wants to know, how late were the other girls during the go-sees when Amanda had to go get shoes?
They were, yeah, like 20 to 30 minutes late. I was disappointed because I thought they would just let us walk and start and not be upset, you know, that the whole group was late, because 3 of us were there, but, you know, for filming reasons, they had to have us all. I can see that, but. But yeah, I was really upset about that. So again, it was me, Yaya, and who, well, it wasn't Takara, was it?
No,
there was 3 of us that didn't go.
I think Takara was a truant.
So yeah, you know, it was just unfortunate that, you know, she kind of thought that we were all late. I mean, she knew who was there on time, but it kind of came off like we weren't taking it seriously. And I wasn't, you know, like, I couldn't have imagined flaking on a go-see like that in real time. And I was disappointed that there wasn't like a harsher punishment for something like that. Like, in the real world, you would just miss out on that go-see. You wouldn't get to walk for her.
The only thing I remember about that moment, well, I won't say the only thing I remember about that moment, because I remember the moment, but the thing that sticks out to me the most is the outfit that Eva had on. Eva had on this white top, but it was kind of like, it was kind of like rectangular shape, and like something, I don't know if I think her back was out, something was out, but it was the top. I just remember that top, and I would wear that top today. And it was kind of like,
really cool
like a string or like a wrap, but
yeah,
her skin was showing. Cool. It was so pretty.
Yeah, she kind of was like dabbled in her own like design. She kind of made clothes and stuff too. And yeah, so she, you know, she kind of had like an edgier, more fashion forward look than I think the rest of us did, because she understood, you know, like something unique. And she wasn't just wearing like ready to wear. She was like inventing, like one of her shirts was a scarf. Like, I mean, so she was definitely, you know, like leading the pack in terms of her daily fashion choices, I think, for sure.
So, talking about style and personal fashion choices, this is a question from Hazel Hart 385. What was your reaction when the guest judge was very critical on personal style? Remember this in panel, and this is specifically when Yaya defended herself against the judges, but they were very critical of all of you guys' style. Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think mine was warranted. I didn't have, you know, very fashion forward look. I was more like street and very rough. Like most of my clothes came from the secondhand store, or I got at a garage sale or something, you know, like I would never have, like, I won that Diane von Furstenberg, like that rack of, you know, designer clothing when Yaya let me share in her prize with her. And that was my very first designer piece. I remember putting that shirt on and just being like, whoa, this is so different to what I'm used to. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely didn't have a very modelly, you know, like they wanted simple and just kind of like jeans and tank tops. And I was in like, you know, like band t-shirts and ripped jeans and, you know, like spike whatever. That's actually one of the things, though. I do look back, all the band t-shirts I have on, I stand by all those bands still. They're all great bands. So. But yeah, I mean, I definitely could have stepped it up. So they were harsh on Yaya. I don't get why you would want someone who is so like into their culture to like try and minimize that. That just doesn't make sense to me. Because then she's pretending, and someone else is going to tell her they don't like her because she's pretending. You know, like again, it goes back to that advice. If 10 people tell you what not to do, you're not going to be left with anything to do. So I hope Yaya like maintained her personal sensibilities, maybe made it a little bit more like versatile. I think that's all they were trying to say, is like versatility is something that could benefit her. But I don't think that they meant to make it like, hey, don't wear those prints, or don't do your hair like that. But like not every go-see is gonna want that. But again, like someone like her, she can kind of decide like, hey, I'm gonna model for this company, or I believe in the ethics here, and I really like that, or want to represent that. So
shout out to Yaya DaCosta. Here it goes. This is Sadie May 57. I love Nicole. What was the inappropriate thought she had during the acting challenge?
Okay, so I'm not gonna say it, but I will tell you the scene. Okay, so you have to have watched the movie Fight Club. They snip in like a little cut scene in family movies, and it was probably that. So it's a reference from a movie. You got to figure it out.
It's a reference to Fight Club.
Fight Club. Yeah, they would mess with family movies, inserting X-rated scenes. So that's probably what it was. Like that.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
So you can look it up if you watch Fight Club, or if you Google it, or whatever.
Oh no, all of us are gonna go Google it now, because we want to know. We want to know. Somebody said, "Oh, I know what it is." Drop it down in the chat so we all can know.
I said it a long time ago there was a website called Fans of Reality TV. And I told people in the chat then, like this was probably like 2005 or 2006. So this has been a while too. But I blacked it out in the chat. So you had to know how to go in and like peek through it. But yeah, I should have said it. Sandy would have remembered me. If I had said what I actually saw, she would have been like, okay. And she would not have forgotten me. Yeah, I think that was like problematic, because I said, I don't know what I see. Like, I don't see anything. And she's probably like, what an airhead.
Right. Kimmy Rowe, DM me, girl, because I want to know. DM me, girl. Kimmy says she don't want to type because she don't want to get blocked. Block? I'm not going to block you. Okay, here we go. Are you happy about all the photos they chose of you?
Yeah. I didn't see like, the whole rolls or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think that there was probably like, the spider photo, he was kind of like on my eye. And so they said that over half of my photos were usable right then without being retouched. And so I don't know, there might have been a better spider photo, but I'm still happy with the one that they picked. I'm not upset about any of them.
Guys out there, top model fans out there, tell me what you think about this. I feel like there's a trope that they do on Top Model where the girl who gets sent home first when they go overseas was always like the girl who had like the most amazing photos, like she was killing it this whole entire time, and then they send her home usually due to some type of personality thing. Oliver, what makes you say that? Well, I feel like they did that to, or it's either she was she had a strong portfolio, or she was considered like a strong threat in the competition. But she's always typically the girl that goes home first when they go overseas, usually due to some type of personality thing. Camille McDonald, Nicole, what's the baby's name in Cycle 4? Michelle in Cycle 4, Lisa D'Amato, Cycle 5, Nina, who everyone thought was going to win in Cycle 6. And I can keep on going, but I feel like they do that because, and I said all that to say your portfolio is stunning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
When Naima came out in season 4, I felt like we were very similar. And she ended up winning. So that was another reason why I was like, that's not true about my personality. Cause like I had very similar likes and just the way, we were kind of more like subdued and, not so like loud and dramatic. And she ended up winning, and she, again, gorgeous girl. I was so envious of her when she won. I was probably, like outside of my season, that was like the most memorable to me. I know I watched a few more. I saw, you know, the one with Carrie D on it. She was from North Dakota too. And then, yeah, the Nicole girl that won, that was from North Dakota. I was salty about that. I was like, I'm the Nicole from North Dakota, but whatever.
You're okay, Nicole. Yes, Sam. ATM Pot Leadum Smash Tuch Bussy is saying, do you remember any of the lines from your Campbell Select commercial?
Onegashi wa eretsuno ento gashi dakara Campbell Select, something like that.
Yes, ma'am. You get it on. Did you watch the live that Mr. J did? Because this, what I do is basically like a spinoff from what he did, where he kind of went live once a week talking about each cycle and like things behind the scenes. And he said that they had a whole different commercial setup for you guys. It was a whole different idea, but because you guys were late getting there, they had to tear that set down and they just had to like throw something together so that you guys can go into panel.
Yep, 100% true.
Okay.
I don't know like what the idea was. He didn't really get into the specifics of the original idea, but he just said it was way bigger and there was a lot more, you know, background or whatever. The commercial we just shot in front of a garden, you know, like we sat on a ledge in front of a garden and we had the camera and that was it. There was nothing extra. Yeah, so I mean, it was kind of crazy. Like we got delayed because they thought we were prostitutes because half of us, well, actually not even half of us, there was only 6 of us. So 4 of us, and I'm not going to say the 2 that couldn't get the story straight, but 4 of us got through customs, cleared it. We have stamps on our passports. We were in the country. The other 2 didn't say that they were there just touring. I don't know, like they didn't get their story right.
No, Nicole, who was it? Tell us.
It was Eva and Anne.
I knew it was Eva.
So they got snagged to the side and they started to get questioned. And then they realized that all of us were together. So they voided our passport stamps. I have a void in my passport from Japan. And they made us go back into the country. And we were in a hotel with guards outside our doors. We couldn't leave the rooms even until we got on a plane to leave. They made us fly to Guam before they wanted originally to make us fly back to the United States, but that's a really long flight. So we were like, can we go to Guam instead? Like, you know, production worked it out or whatever. So we flew to Guam and then we flew back to Japan and got through re-entry the next day. But yeah, they had us like, it was like judges or military tribunals or something. Like it was really scary. They pulled us all separately into these rooms and they grilled us. They were like, where are you staying? Why are you guys here? Why do you have all this money? Like, and we were like, oh, we don't know why. They really didn't tell us like details. So we really didn't know, you know, like where we were going really other than the address of the hotel. And I think because, you know, we were all like from another country, pretty girls, they were like prostitutes.
And it was Eva and Anne who messed it up for everybody.
Sorry, you guys. I didn't mean to give you dirt, but yes.
So it was Eva and Anne's fault on why we never saw Mr. J's fabulous, extravagant, over-the-top creation.
I was upset because I was like, just let us 4 stay. Send them back.
Eliminate them hoes.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine the episode after Takara gets eliminated and we think all of you guys are in Japan and then they come on and say, girls, we're so happy to see that you guys made it to Japan. However, unfortunately, Eva and Anne did something and they are unfortunately no longer with us.
Yep. Well, and I think a production assistant got fired for that because they didn't have our criteria right. And it really wasn't their fault. Like they told us what to say. They told us not to say where they're working because we didn't have work visas and we really weren't there working. Like it wasn't a job. So, I mean, it wasn't a lie, but yeah. Asian customs are no joke. Do not mess with customs in other countries, especially in Asia.
Thank you for telling us. So you guys finally get there and you guys filmed the commercial. Did you think you were going home?
Honestly, no. I thought that
none of us did.
Like, I worked really hard to, you know, learn the script and get the pronunciation correct. I didn't want to come off rude or like I was just kind of bumbling through it. And so I was really taking it seriously, and I guess that's really boring. But I was just doing what I thought a good model would do, is, you know, try to do the best job that they could. I remember having to eat the soup. It was like vegetable beef or chicken or something with meat in it, and I actually like put that gross stuff in my mouth. Ew. Ugh.
So
I was crying.
fast forwarding to panel, what was going on in your brain when Tyra forgot about you? Did you think that was intentional? Did you think she honestly forgot? Like,
oh yeah. If you look at the blocking, like Yaya was, I remember like a crew guy coming over and like being like, no, you're gonna stand right over here, and he like slid me over a little bit more. Yeah. And like if you look at previous episodes, I'm always in the front because I'm kind of shorter than the other girls. And so they would have me in the front because then you could see everyone. But yeah, they put me behind Yaya, and she had like an afro that day, so it was like even bigger. I was completely hidden from view. I couldn't see any of the judges, and they put me there.
if I could fade into this grass like that guy from The Simpsons, I would. Wowzers. So when that happened, did you think like, oh yeah, this is my time? They're about to give me the axe.
I was hoping not, because Narelle had done so poorly, and Yaya like made them all mad because she like was offensive or something. And so I like honestly was just like, I got to just get back to photo shoots. I'll be fine next week. And then that was it. Like I was never in the bottom two.
Never.
And then all of a sudden I was gone. So, I mean, I wasn't like mad, but obviously I was kind of like, I don't like this.
Yeah, which is why you spoke to them the way you did, the way you told us earlier.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. Last couple of questions. Kimmy Rowe wants to know, did you walk the final runway?
Yep, we all did.
How was
We
that?
all had to do all the challenges. Otherwise, the people in the audience would know who got eliminated.
Gotcha.
So they filmed like the final three, and it was a really slow runway. They like wanted it to mimic flowing water, very gracefully and very slowly. And I tripped, like my shoe slid off, and I was like walking, and I like flunked it back on, like trying to be all slow. It's really hard to walk slow. You have no idea. Like slowly and gracefully is harder than like just like walking.
Damn.
Yeah. But I got it back.
No, go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
I didn't ruin the show. Like my shoe didn't come all the way off or anything. I got it back, and like, but there was a point where I had to stop because one of the models was walking down and they were filming her, and I had to stop and kind of held up like the rest of the show because I was waiting for her to pass. But yeah, it was fun. They even had me set up the CoverGirl final photo shoot too. I was the model that they picked to go and test the lights and everything. So I got that photo shoot as well.
Did you get your makeup done and everything?
Yeah.
Did you see some of the photos?
Oh yeah, they gave me one of the copies. I got like my best test shot for that. And Jay was always like, girl, you're supposed to be doing this. I can't believe they chopped you. Like Jay Manuel was probably one of my biggest fans. I think he really enjoyed having me because I was professional and that was what he was there to do. So.
Do you have that photo somewhere? I mean, I know you can't get up and go get it right now.
I probably do. Yeah, I have a big pile of all my stuff. I think it's in a tote somewhere in my basement or my garage, but.
Whenever you find the time. No time soon, whenever you find the time. Break the ANTM universe and send me that, or post that photo. Just you post it, and the children, they're gonna do what they need to do. I would love to see this photo, and I can only imagine your skin with that red. How do they style your hair?
I think it was just kind of like just soft and like kind of easy. Like it wasn't like, it was just like nice and down.
What kind of lipstick did, what, oh my God, I'm sorry, okay, let me
It was very like natural, like just very natural, like a little pink and like not a lot of.
Oh my God, I can just imagine your pink lips with the red hair against that blue water in your skin tone. Oh, okay, yes, whenever. Christmas would be, you know, that's dope. That's a nice Christmas gift to the kiddies.
I'll try and find it.
Oh my God, Nicole, okay. Is it true, it's XZ cause me, yeah, them. Did Tyra ask you to lose 20 pounds? Is this true?
Well, I think they hinted that if I wasn't slimming down, then I kind of wasn't fitting into the industry. And they had some real like straight on conversations with us. She sat down and we talked about nutrition in one scene or like one episode. And she looked right at me when she said, and you know, some of you might not have the body type and that's okay. You know, like I just felt like very like, okay, she's talking about me.
Oh.
Yeah, I knew that like I was kind of on the upper edge. Like Mark Bauer wasn't a fan because you know I had bigger hips like Cassie. They didn't show like he said that to me too. Like he didn't measure me. Well, maybe he did. I don't remember, but yeah. I think Cassie was just a little bit bigger than me, so that's why she went before I did.
Wow. And hips are in right now.
Yeah, I know. Take that, Mark.
You were definitely ahead of your time in all categories, Nicole. Favorite photo shoot, least favorite photo shoot?
I think my favorite was the YJ Stinger, just because it was like the first one that I really felt like empowered to do. And then my least favorite ended up being the alter ego because like the girl and like the creature were so disconnected, and that was like my worst critique too.
Gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for that. I had some other questions for you, but you kind of already answered them. You spoke about the edit that you got, and you spilled some tea on interaction you had with someone who edited the show and what they share with you. If you're late to class, you're gonna have to rewatch it when it gets uploaded to YouTube. You spoke about the moment with Tyra that she forgot about you and spilled even more tea. I didn't know we was gonna get all this today, Nicole. I really did not. And you were a pleasure to speak to. Like you're very warming, and you made me like think and like want to think. You're very great. I can't believe, girl, maybe you really did just piss Tyra off because if you were a fraction of what you're giving right now, that's enough to like paint this woman so beautifully colorful. Like, yeah, girl, yeah, you made Tyra mad.
I did. I know I did. Yeah. Well, and she was a producer, you know, that's her show. I should have respected that, you know, she was producing a show she wanted to put out. It's her money, her, you know, direction. Yeah. Hindsight's always 20/20. You know, like I said, I don't regret what I said because it was in the moment and that was my genuine feelings. But I wish that maybe it didn't come off like I was ungrateful because I really did enjoy my time on the show and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yes. Okay. 3 more quick questions for you, beauty. How was it being bisexual on national television?
It was kind of funny. I didn't really think about it like that at the time. I just, for me, like, and kind of what I said more past that was, can you guys still see me okay?
Yeah, you look perfect to me.
Okay. Well, my phone's about to die, it says, so just making sure. But like, I didn't realize I was becoming like a beacon of something. And I'm really glad that I did, because it should be normalized. Like, whether or not I want to date a woman or a man doesn't matter. Like, why does that matter?
Right. Yeah. Someone said they think that you were the first bisexual contestant on the show, and if you were, ahead of your time, Nicole. I'm mad. Justice for Nicole. That's gonna be my slogan for the rest of the year. Justice for Nicole. You spoke about your music. You spoke about your album. You're building a music studio. Is there anything else you want to tell us that you've been up to and doing since the last time we saw you, and what you have coming up on the horizon?
I'm also writing a book. So hopefully you'll see that. I'm only about like 3,000 or 4,000 words in though, so not quite, you know, even a tenth of the way. So a lot to go on that, but yeah, just been kind of working on that. There's a lot more backstory that happened in the meantime that, you know, we don't have time for me to get into today, but yeah, I hope that I can have that within the next year or so. Because I'm gonna self-publish it, you know, and I'm like still work and stuff because you know I didn't hit it big, so I gotta have a regular job too. But I work on it every day. So
you know what I also get from you looking at you too, someone you resemble. You kind of look like Adele to me a little bit.
Oh, thanks.
You kind of like Adele to me, yeah. Certain like when you're moving your
only
face.
I could sing like that,
girl. My last question, because I feel like I don't want to make. Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't give a damn. People give a deal too much. They really do. I mean, she can sing. She can sing. But they give Mama a lot. I feel like sometimes they give Mama a lot. Dog, congratulations on all of that. The music, the studio, the book. Congratulations. That's amazing. And my last question, I ask everyone this question, which is, if you were standing before Tyra Banks right now, what would you say?
I would thank her for giving me the opportunity. I would tell her that I wasn't pleased with the edit, but I understand that, you know, at the end of the day, she had a vision and she did what she needed to do. And, you know, I wouldn't be having this conversation with you if it wasn't for her. So a lot of the great things that have happened in my life are a direct result of her believing in me. And I wouldn't have, you know, this today if it wasn't for her. So I'm still like eternally grateful. And I would like to apologize for coming off rude. Not necessarily what I said, but just how I said it. And, you know, maybe like been a little bit nicer about it.
I know you guys are enjoying this video, but we need to take a little break to get a word from our sponsors.
Seriously spot, seriously spot, seriously spot. Cutie cuties and I love how they fitting. Oh, sporty please. That's what I need and that's what I'm getting. Black, white, brown, indigenous, Asians and queer. Buying lesbian and trans. Roll call, all my queens are here. Cause we all about inclusion and embracing our uniqueness. Cause our differences are gifts, you know they never been a weakness. Yes, 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 yes. And you know it's black on. Put your money where your mouth is. Sit your booty on the throne. Yes, 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 yes. Cause we all deserve to shine. Girl, I love the way you sparkle. You a diamond, not a dime.
Been a little bit nicer about it.
That is amazing, Nicole. That is amazing. I feel just from talking to you, you have a great spirit, you have a great energy, you have a great vibration about you. And I'm so excited to hear this new music from you. And we're definitely going to do another live to talk about that whenever you put it back up. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, part two.
Is there anything else you want to say before you go?
I don't think that, you know, you've missed anything like major. I think you kind of asked me all the good stuff.
I try.
Yeah.
I try. Good. I feel this has been a hidden gem, guys. Don't you guys agree? This is an amazing, amazing top tier chat we just had with Nicole. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this, taking the time to answer all of my nosy ass questions. Because I'm a nosy bitch. I'm not really an interviewer. I just like to ask questions people too.
No, you're perfect for this. You're perfect for this, honestly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Hopefully somebody give me a job one day to sit back and ask people questions. Maybe one day. Maybe Tyra can produce my talk show or something. Now, that would be iconic.
You could.
Now, she wants to go to heaven. Give Oliver Twixt a show. Tyra and Kim on. If this is y'all last chance to get in God's good graces, give me a show. I speak it into existence.
if I still had their number, I would give it to you.
Ooh, call her up. Nicole, you've been amazing. Everybody, please clap it up right now wherever you are in the world. Honestly, get on your feet and stand up. I would, but I got on some questionable bottoms today. And clap it up for Nicole for giving an amazing, insightful, juicy, inspiring chat on America's Next Top Model Cycle 3. You've made my day today. You really have. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No, you're so welcome. You enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm going to be looking forward to this album.
I got you.
So much.
Come home.